It's the game mode that has every bingo player wake up in a cold sweat. Pinball Warrior. Hooah! In this mode, we'll have every player race against the clock on the exact same board to see who can claim as many points as possible. Whoever has the most points at the end of the time limit will be able to claim the title of Pinball Warrior Champion. Whatcha! With ties broken by whoever gets their final score fastest. Though if you think it's that easy, you clearly haven't seen pinball before. The Bingo Wizards have crafted a diabolical board designed to test even the most hardened veterans of bingo. In fact, why don't we give them a sneak peek of what we have in store for our players this time? Yo, Ace, break it down for these Rudies.
In this season, the board consists of 5 types of squares, each corresponding to a type of tape soul that can be unlocked and collected. For every tape soul that is picked up, players can mark a corresponding square of their choice. But can bingo players really handle this much freedom?
Buckle up, kiddies. Let's begin another match of Pinball Warrior.
And here is the first match of pinball with Twinkachu and Vaen. And commentating with me is Twinkachu.
That's so crazy. I'm gonna be so nice to myself. Okay.
So, yeah, we've already gone through the rules in the little intro video, assuming that I've actually got that all set up. You know, knowing me very well prepared. So both teams immediately going for some tape souls, both players immediately going for tape souls. Twinkachu for Rokokudai Heights and Vaen in Shibuya Terminal. How did you find this board? Because I had to keep this a secret from you, obviously, as an organizer.
So confusing. Baffling. I had no idea what I was doing. I feel like also it is important context that the gameplay that is happening on my feed is like the first bingo game I had played in maybe 6 months.
Yeah.
So, don't judge me too hard.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You spent a lot of time getting bingo prepared, not a lot of time actually playing the bingo.
I don't play video games.
Yeah.
That's for nerds. I don't do that. Anyway, so Vaen is in Shibuya here. Obviously lots of very easy to do challenges in Shibuya. I am in RDH doing like grind and maybe special or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, the key thing in any given area, I think more important than any other soul, is special. Just because the nature of the board was I very much wanted to make sure that players had to get special, waste as much time as possible. So the diagonals are all specials.
Yeah, I think in the like pre-game discussion, Vaen and I were saying like, if nothing else, the first thing we should go for is that the center bingos, which only require 1 special. Because obviously specials take quite a lot of time. So, trying to minimize those.
I can see Vaen taking a while to decide where to mark squares and, figuring out where to go next. I mean, that's one of the big things is, you've got a minute to look at the board, but it's not exactly plenty of time, especially when I've just given you an entirely new rule set to think about.
Yeah, especially, like, with this board, with this challenge, half of the challenge is figuring out, like, which square you're going to mark for every challenge. So you'll see us pausing a little extra to figure out, like, okay, I want to mark this special.
I mean, that's one thing I remembered from when you both played, is the amount of communication you did was just like, okay, mark this specific square with this soul, and like actually quite organised where you actually marked squares. There wasn't any like major mismarking or any kind of wackiness from there. And I can see you're going for 99th Special, the classic.
Yeah, at this point, Vaen is continuing to do stuff in the like Shibuya areas. Obviously, lots of relatively quick stuff over there, and I headed out towards Darkside because I am significantly more comfortable doing Darkside challenges than I am doing like Kogane challenges.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I'm genuinely like not sure. Like, obviously, Shibuya-cho is just because it's like the earliest area in the entire game, tends to have the quickest stuff, because it's not designed for you to be there for a long periods of time. Whereas,
it's got smaller areas, which minimizes your travel time.
Yeah, even Hikage is, quite a small level, all things considered. You just have to take the trip to the tape. It's like, it really comes down to the other two areas and how both players really handle that. I mean, so far, a good amount of squares all over the place, and the first special soul, which kind of opens up the bingos.
Yeah, I'm sure the perfect pinball people will disagree with me, but I think for this challenge in deciding whether you're going to dark side or sewers, I think like your personal comfort with those levels is probably more of a deciding factor than like the actual difficulty of the challenges.
It's like,
that might be controversial, I don't know.
I think at the end of the day, if you were to hypothetically do some form of perfect pinball, routing, you would have to go to any and all areas, but at the end of the day, any mistake, uses up that valuable time that, 10 minutes, it's a long time, and then not long enough, and there we go, we've got 2 bingos already.
Those 2 that only have the one special, the center square. And so at this point, I think we both realize, like, okay, we actually have to do some specials.
Yeah, you can't just build bingos without specials, and looks like Vaen going for the Shibuya special, so a nice lap of the level.
Yeah, I think of the levels to like full complete, Chuo isn't that bad, because if you're doing a full lap, like you're getting a couple extra souls. It's not like you're doing the full lap just for one.
Yeah. I mean, Chuo famous last season for being the objectively worst place to go for pinball. Because I think, if I remember correctly, the Perfect Pinball Project got every single square except for one of the Chuo souls.
I thought it was like a skyscraper soul, but I have a terrible memory.
It finished off in skyscraper. It was like one of the canal souls. It was like objectively bad.
Objectively not worth it.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Now, I very specifically remember I'm opting to go to Dino because it's smaller than Skyscraper. Like, trying to search for souls in Skyscraper seemed kind of miserable because of how giant it is.
Yeah, I mean, this is all very condensed.
Yeah, I was really thinking about area size with a lot of my decision making.
Yeah, I mean, like, the smaller the area, I mean, yeah, compared to Skyscraper District, Highway Zero or Sky Dino, vastly smaller maps. I feel like vast is the exact wrong word to use when talking about, small maps, but you get the point.
Yeah. Significantly more condensed. You can unlock things and then pick them up much faster with much less running around. Alright, Vaen is leaving Chuo, having picked up a good number of souls there. Presumably heading somewhere else in these Shibuya areas. Yeah, looks like Hikage.
Well, it looks like you went for special there, unless I missed you getting special earlier in Sky Dino.
I think I messed up special once during this.
You can tell us it's tactical. I'll just have to.
Oh yeah, no, I very tactically, very specifically and strategically missed the jump for tactics to get myself into a better position here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
See, perfect.
So I did probably miss it once, but except I didn't point it out when it happened, so you didn't see it. Yeah. Nothing to see there.
And Vaen climbing up in Hikage, which is a solid level to be in. Though time is running out, 2 minutes left on the clock. Really just have to get as many squares as possible. But there is tricks there.
This part of Hikage is good because so many souls like spawn here that you can then pick up pretty immediately. You can grab tricks and air over here.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those where Hikage is a very condensed level in and of itself. If you can get to an area with some squares, there's tricks, so I'm going to see that third bingo. Love to see it.
Let's go. So
far, I think you're on your way out of Sky Dino as well. Vaen getting air.
Oh, I think I'm grabbing one more thing before I leave.
Ah, yes, on the, yeah.
On the loop.
That makes sense.
I don't remember off the top of my head. There's points.
And at this point, we're in the last minute of the game, so it's, you know, very much a race to see what's available. I mean, so far 3 bingos and what's that, 16 squares? So any and all squares to kind of build out some more, like just some extra points towards the end, definitely valuable. Almost certainly not another bingo though, because of the special requirement.
Yeah. Unless has Vaen already picked up the Hikage special?
I think this is Hikage special right now that Vaen's picking up. So you know.
Okay.
But they're running out of time, so they've got to get that marked very, very quickly. Because that's where the time was.
Right, we had
the marking.
Yeah, and also Vaen clicked that row 2 square, that would have been an extra bingo, but it wouldn't have counted anyways. So.
Good. And that puts Twinkachu and Vaen in at a strong start at 23 points at 9 minutes and 55 seconds. How will the other teams fare against this board? Find out next time on Jet Set Radio Future Bingo Pinball Warrior.